Yo, what's going on guys? Sam here, and today I want to show you my top 13 iOS 13 features. Now, I've already done a ton of videos on the update that I will leave linked down below and up in the top right hand corner of the screen, but I want to focus on just a small batch of my personal favorites in this video. And even though 13 is quote unquote an unlucky number, I think you guys are going to enjoy the new features included in the update. If you're excited for that, drop a like down below, hit subscribe for more. Let's go ahead and get started with number 13. Starting off inside of the Maps app, there are more detailed maps in certain areas inside the US. Apple says this is going to come US wide, I think by the end of this year or the beginning of early next year, but you can look at the map just by zooming out on the continental US. Look at the green down south or in California. Apple has somehow accurately and finally detailed these areas so that the entire US, or when it comes to your country, is not going to be purely gray or this darkish like yellow shade. It looks really nice, and even zooming in will show you more than you've ever seen inside of the Maps app. But Apple's also taken that a step further. If you go in so far, in some areas, Apple has copied Google Street View finally, and they're calling it Look Around. But the benefits of Apple's is that you can sort of preview it at first in the top of your screen. You can also zoom in and get these really nice looking smooth transitions. So if you go down the street, it doesn't look like you're, like choppily going down there and skipping around like Google's variant does. It actually looks smooth. So the Maps team has done an incredible job curating both of these features, and I think that's one of the cooler changes in the update. Next up for number 12, the Reminders app was long overdue for a visual overhaul, and while it also got some new features, my personal enjoyment has stemmed from the fact that it just sort of looks like other iOS 13 apps. It had a very skeuomorphic design forever, and I felt like it was very out of place. Apple has now updated it to look more natural. The new design language is a lot clearer to look at and just makes it simple. It's not my favorite app out there. I feel like the design overall still needs some work. I don't really like the bubble fill in, like complete a reminder option. And it's kind of weird that you can create a reminder, but to actually get you reminded about it, you have to go through a second step. But it is definitely a step in the right direction. And hey, after so many years of it looking outdated, I'm thankful for this change. If you've ever used an Android, you will probably enjoy number 11 because this was stock on so many Android keyboards for such a long time. And yes, it did actually take Apple like 12 different iterations or 13 technical different iterations of iOS for us to get this new swipe keyboard. Now, what's cool is that you can disable it in settings if you don't want it, but if you're like me and you use it from time to time, you can effortlessly switch from general, like normal typing, to swiping in an instant, and the keyboard just follows along with you. There really isn't a delay. So if you're somebody who has missed that and you were tired of the janky third-party support, like I got a keyboard a while back that did this, but it didn't work that well and I didn't know where that data was going. Obviously, Apple's not giving this data to anyone. It's all staying on device, and it's a genuinely good experience that feels like it was made by Apple, well, because it was. Heading over to Safari, there is a download manager in iOS 13. This was previously teased as an iPad exclusive, but it also works on the iPhone, and actually all these features that I talk about are there on the iPad, just like they are here on the iPhone. When you download something, you used to just strictly be able to view it or save it to your photos. Now, when you download something, or try to download something rather, you get the option to either view it like you could traditionally, or actually download it to the Files app. So when you tap on that download option, not only does it go up in the top right hand corner of your screen in a Safari download manager, just like it has done on the Mac for as long as I can remember, when you head over to that Files app, you can retrieve that file and do with it as you please. I've been asking for this forever, and finally, after so many years, it feels like Apple has made a competent file management system as a part of iOS. Next up at number 9 is Apple Arcade. Apple seriously surprised me with this one. I was not expecting Apple Arcade to be as well made and well developed as it was, but the titles on here, guys, are not only exclusive to Apple Arcade, meaning you cannot play these on any other platform anywhere else in the world, but on Apple's first-party game stream service, and it's only $4.99 a month, but these games are really great, like not okay or not sort of cool, like Apple found a cool few developers. You've got a ton of good games in here at launch, and Apple says that more will be added regularly. Actually, since I started using Apple Arcade the other day, they've already added like 5 to 10 additional games that I just wasn't expecting or anticipating. So props to Apple for doing this. There are so many good titles. I've actually done a video on my top 10 favorite games. If you guys want to check that out, I will leave it linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Following that is the Photos app. I didn't actually think I would appreciate this change as much as I did, but looking at photos, going back and seeing memories is legitimately a fun experience now. I was never someone who's just said, hey, I'm going to scroll through my phone and look at photos, but the Photos app in iOS 13 because of the new design, has made me do just that. It allows you to zoom in and out from a look at days or particular events, and it groups them together. It'll play videos and previews so you can see what that day was like and sort of relive it again. And you can zoom out to see years, snapshots at that. I don't know where Apple got this idea from, but it's a really great idea. And the new Photos app will even do things such as show you pictures of your friends when it's their birthday, if you have their birthdays inputted to your phone. It is super well done all the way around. I literally have zero complaints, and it's just made reliving things in the past or even looking at photos that I just took really fun. Following that, while Siri is not actually more useful in my experience in iOS 13, there is something cool that Apple has done with Siri's voice and the way Siri reads text. It not only sounds more naturally paced, like Siri will not read words and then read them like this. Although I've noticed that still happens in certain circumstances, Siri's voice is now completely generated by an algorithm. That's right. So the original voice actor, Susan Bennett, had recorded like thousands of different clips or syllables, and then Apple pushed them all together to make Siri talk. Now it is a completely computer-generated voice, and the scary part is it actually sounds like a human is talking to you. So let me know what you guys think about it down below. Here's a quick demo.
Shorter wavelength blue light is more strongly scattered in the Earth's atmosphere than longer wavelength red light. Shorter wavelength blue light is more strongly scattered in the Earth's atmosphere than longer wavelength red light.
At number 6, Control Center largely functions the same way as it did before, but there are some small tweaks. So not only is there like a new QR code toggle that looks like this, pretty sweet, but you can honestly get all that functionality straight in the camera app, so nothing truly added there. You can now finally interact and add Wi-Fi networks and Bluetooth devices inside of Control Center without leaving or going to settings. So you just sort of haptic touch or 3D press on Wi-Fi once you're in this little box, and look, all of your Wi-Fi networks come up. You can go straight to Wi-Fi settings from there, or conversely, let's say you want to do the exact same thing with Bluetooth. You can do that as well. Just again, long press. This is a completely hidden feature that not many people will know about, so smash like for this one down below. But also, thanks Apple, we've been waiting on this one forever. Inside of the Music app, Apple has tweaked some of the design here, like the text is left aligned now. It is so much nicer looking than it was in previous versions of iOS, like that cannot be understated. Apple's also added one of my favorite features in iOS 13, which is Music Live lyrics. Initially, I didn't think I'd exactly be the karaoke type of guy out here, but let me show you guys how cool it looks. Not only incredible, Apple did a fantastic job with like the blurry artwork moving sort of visualizer design here, but they sync up perfectly with the song. And I'm not like somebody who likes to sing along, but it's kind of cool when a song first drops, or even an older song that I thought a lyric was one thing, and then I see this and watch it as I'm listening to the song, and I'm like, oh wow, it was actually saying something entirely different. So that's helpful for knowing what, you know, artists are actually trying to say in 2019. Plus it looks fantastic. Also looking great in iOS 13 is a brand new share sheet. So you can not only tweak the exact order of how you want things to be or how actions are laid out, there's a brand new way that Apple organizes the people that you want to share it with. So for example, right away, if I have my computer open, AirDrop will come up first because Apple has paid attention to my habits, and I tend to, for my video work, AirDrop a lot of things from my phone or my iPad to my Mac. And it's flawless. Like, it comes up every time. I have no more issues with AirDrop not working. And using on-device learning, Apple also predicts who you want to message. So up first are usually the contacts that I want to text first. I don't know how they've done it, but it changes depending on what I'm doing, what mood I'm in, what time of the day it is. And it's usually spot on. So I've enjoyed a lot of these smaller changes in iOS 13, but for me, I would say there are a core 3 updates that have seriously defined my experience with iOS 13. And coming in at number 3 is Xbox and PlayStation controller support. This has been a dream of mine since I first got an iPod Touch, I think in the year 2008. So we're going on over 10 years of myself wishing I could do this. I remember looking up tutorials back in the day, and now it's a reality. You literally turn on the Bluetooth on the controller and turn on your Bluetooth on your iPhone or iPad, and you can fully game on your iDevice. This is phenomenal. There is zero feedback lag or delay. It is fantastic. I don't know how Apple's done it, but they have really worked hard to ensure that controller support is not only here, it is flawless, and that has been my experience. Fortnite, racing games, it's all here, and it is all fantastic. I really think out of all these features, this is one you gotta try if you have a controller laying around at home. Following that, at number 2, there's a brand new volume heads-up display, not only for on-device sounds like ringer, but also for general volume. So you can see it pops up on the left side right where your volume buttons are, and again, this has been something that people have been waiting on forever. If there's one thing I can say about iOS 13, as you'll see in the number 1 change for me as well, it's that it adds stuff that people have been asking for forever. And it feels so good to say that this year, out of all years, Apple has finally listened. So I really like the volume indicator, but of course, you guys know what's coming first if you know anything about iOS 13. Of course, this has to be number one, I think, on anybody's list, arguably. We've got dark mode. This has been one of those features that I could not believe Apple passed on time and time again. And this year it is here in its full glory. It works with third-party apps once they've been updated, and it makes using your device at night genuinely fun again. I remember so many times I'd wake up in the middle of the night, look at my phone, and it would be bright, it'd be in my face, my retinas, my eyes would actually hurt. But finally, dark mode is here, and Apple did it right. So that is my top 13 iOS 13 features. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this down below. Would you add anything else? Would you take anything off this list? Personally, this is what I have enjoyed the most out of iOS 13. Of course, there are so many other features and changes, hundreds of them actually, so go ahead and check out my videos on that. But in the meantime, get updated to iOS 13. Like I said, it's out right now. That's all I have for you in this video. Drop a like if you enjoyed it, hit subscribe for more. I've been Sam, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next video.